And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the first 5 LEGO trains I owned from my least favorite to the most favorite, in the LEGO Train Hall of Fame. So without wasting any more of your time, let's get started. Number 5, a freight set, the 7939 LEGO City Cargo Train set. Hey, wait a minute, where's the number 5 on those swaying doors? Cut. Alright, let's try this again, shall we? Number 5, a freight set, the 7939 LEGO City Cargo Train set. The 7939 had a locomotive and carried 3 freight cars. Now this was my first cargo train I've ever owned as a kid. I got this train for Christmas when I was 12 years old back in 2013. The 7939 was painted in dark gray, yellow, and black. This locomotive is a dual cab locomotive, which is a European type. Now this locomotive does not run on diesel power like the replica of this locomotive does, but this one runs on electricity because you can see the black thing on the roof of the locomotive, which is run by electricity, is called a pentagram. Now this LEGO train had the older power functions, which isn't the same as what we have today. The old power functions for these kind of LEGO trains weren't the best because, you know, when you have to control the train and it's either out of range or there's something in the way, like an obstacle for instance. That's where I kind of hate that part the most. Alright, on to the freight cars. First up, we got the box car. Now this box car that you see here is from the 9-volt LEGO train sets from the 2000s. Now this box car is a replacement of this container car that looked like a box car, but it was a red container, which I did take those apart. So I replaced that freight car with this one. Alright, the next freight car is the freight car with the automobiles. Now this freight car is kinda similar to the freight car that came with the 7939 cargo train set, but the only thing that's different is this freight car that I have, I bought from Amazon from a company called General Gems, which they do make Legos. So you could say here that these cars that are on this freight car are a little different compared to the 7939 train set. Alright, the last freight car in this train set is the tank car. This tank car here is painted in white with stickers that came with the colors red and green. Number 4, a passenger train set, the 7938 LEGO City Passenger Train set. Now this is the first time LEGO has created a passenger train set with the old power functions. This train here had an engine and 2 passenger cars, plus the Hogwarts passenger car that I added, making it a total of 4. Now the 7938 was painted in red, white, and gray. This was my second LEGO train that I got for my 13th birthday back in 2014. Now this train had the same kind of power functions as the 7939, which had continued all the way up until 2018. Now the engine of the 7938 had tinted black windows because of the battery box. However, the passenger cars never got this black cover on the windows, just like the engine did. Now the first passenger car in the 7938 passenger train can carry up to 6 minifigures. Same thing goes with the red Hogwarts passenger car. Now this passenger car came from the LEGO Harry Potter Hogwarts train set, which the locomotive that came with this passenger car didn't do so well on the tracks because the wheels would get caught when it goes around corners. So I decided to take apart the locomotive and keep the passenger car, which I did customize it by the way. And the colors of this Hogwarts passenger car are red and black. Last but not least is the end car of the 7938 passenger train. Now the end car on this passenger train set looks exactly like the engine up front except for the windows. Except they don't have the black covered windows just like the engine did because the end car does not have the battery box. And this end car can carry up to 5 minifigures. Number 3, another passenger train set, the 60197 LEGO City Passenger Train. This train got the new upgraded power functions called Powered Up. And what that does is you can use your phone to control the train and play sound effects. Now the new powered up functions is a lot better than the old power functions from the first two LEGO trains I have. The 60197 had all kinds of colors, like an amberish yellow, navy blue, white, gray, and charcoal. This passenger train had one engine and two passenger cars. But first, let's go over the engine before we go over the two passenger cars. So as you all know, that the 60197 is basically the same thing as the 7938, but a little bit different because the last two passenger cars, especially the last one, is not like the engine. Now the engine on this train is a lot different than the 7938. Instead of windows, you have a grill for the battery box, and it has two windows, one on each side. Since this train carries two passenger cars, next up is the dining car, which this is the very first time LEGO has introduced a dining car to the passenger train sets. Now the windows on this dining car are a lot smaller than the windows on the 7938's passenger car. Alright, the next passenger car we got is the seating car. Now this passenger car holds up to 4 minifigures compared to the 7938's passenger car where it holds up to 6. I never thought LEGO would just create two passenger cars for this train instead of adding an end car and a seating car instead of just two normal passenger cars. But it is what it is. Number 2, another freight set. The 60198 LEGO City Cargo Train. The 60198 has the same kind of controls as the 60197, that being powered up, but this is a cargo train, not a passenger train, and this cargo train is a little bit different than the 7939 cargo train. And what I mean by that is the freight cars are a lot different compared to the 7939 cargo train. The 60198 cargo train is a lot different compared to the 7939. The body is different, and it is a dual cab locomotive, so another European type locomotive. And the colors on this locomotive are gray, green, yellow, and white. So far, I love the looks of this locomotive compared to the 7939. Moving on from there, let's talk about its three freight cars. Our first freight car is the logging car. I kind of remember that old trains used to haul like logs on freight cars or something, but nowadays you have logging trucks hauling logs. Next up is the crane car. Now, the crane on a freight car, I never thought LEGO would do this, but this is kind of interesting how they did it. Alright, last but not least, you have this weird looking freight car that looks exactly like a boxcar, but except it has two containers on it. One that looks like a bank vault container, and then the other container that contains a snowmobile. There's a freight car that looks exactly like this, but it's a lot different, and it's from a different LEGO train set. I'll show you guys what kind of freight car that is from that LEGO train set from 2022 whenever I do get that. And now, number 1, drum roll please. The 60337 LEGO City Express Passenger Train. The 60337 train had headlights, which this is the first LEGO train that included headlights, because all the other trains do not have headlights. I mean, you could buy them on Amazon and actually put them in there. Now, the 60337 LEGO Express train is the longest train because the engine and the passenger cars are a little bit longer than the 60197 train set. The 60337 had colors of black, lime green, white, and charcoal. Now the engine on this train is a lot different than the 7938 and the 60197. The front of the engine looks a bit more jagged compared to the other two LEGO passenger trains, which some people complained about its jaggedness, and I have no idea why. Alright, next up you got the first passenger car, which is the dining car, also suitable for a wheelchair, which I thought this is kind of interesting how LEGO included the wheelchair in this dining car, which I think is kind of clever how they can squeeze in the wheelchair chair in the dining car. And last but not least, you have the seating car, which you can actually put a bicycle inside the seating car, which I thought that's kind of interesting how LEGO managed to fit a bicycle in this passenger car. I think that's kind of clever how LEGO managed to fit a bicycle inside the seating car. I'll have to say that this train is definitely my favorite compared to all the others. I mean, don't get me wrong, but all my other LEGO trains are awesome too. There you have it for my top 5 LEGO trains in the LEGO Train Hall of Fame. LEGO Train Hall of Fame. A cargo train roaring down with its 3 freight cars. The 7938, a passenger train roaring down the railroad track. The 2 trains in action, they speed by each other. Looks really cool when they pass by. LEGO Train Hall of Fame. Sixer 197, a passenger train rolling down the railroad track. The Sixer 198, a cargo train roaring down the railroad track. The Sixer 337, an express train with its headlights, it glows in the dark. LEGO Train Hall of Fame.
They belong to the Hall of Fame. They belong to the Hall of Fame.
In the LEGO Train Hall of Fame. Well, that's all for now. Time for me to go on a bike ride. See you next time in the LEGO Trains Hall of Fame Part 2.